Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
It is the first day of May, but it sure doesn't feel like it. You may see more snowflakes mixed in with some rain tonight.
Yep. The spring snowfall late into the season, but not the latest ever in Michigan. That record falls on May 22nd, 1883. So we've got a way to go before we start to threaten that. In fact, got several inches of snow way back then. But we start at 6 o'clock here with your forewarned weather. Good to have you with us. I'm Devin Skillian.
I'm Kimberly Gill, meteorologist Kim Adams here. It could be worse, Kim.
Yeah.
It could always be worse. We could live in Marquette, where they're expecting about 2 feet of snow in some parts of the UP. So there is a winter, I can't even believe I'm saying this, it's May 1st, a winter storm warning in effect for parts of the UP, including Marquette. A little less closer to the shoreline, but it is still going to be just an unbelievable snowstorm up north. Now back at home, we're just expecting some wet snowflakes mixing in. So as we look at the snowfall forecast, watch it total up north. See all the purples indicating areas that are 18 inches or greater. That's just crazy right here in Marquette and just around the surrounding areas. But also even over into Traverse City, they're expecting anywhere from 6 inches to close to 10. But here in southeast lower Michigan, we're not expecting anything in the way of accumulation, but maybe you'll see it total up on some of your patio furniture, but it's too warm this time of year for us to really get anything to stick, at least not much. So we're not expecting travel problems or any of that. It's just not anything we want to see this time of year. This evening, temperatures will fall very quickly. A few rain mixed with snow showers by midnight tonight, and they'll stick around through part of tomorrow. But then there's a bright spot in the forecast, and I'm excited to show you that in just a few minutes.
Kim, tonight investigators trying to figure out if recent acts of anti-Semitism in Oakland County are connected.
Someone spray painted swastikas at a Jewish community center in Royal Oak and around Oak Park. Victor Williams is in Royal Oak at the Woodward Avenue show, where people say these acts of hate do not define them.
Well, this is where that hate graffiti used to be. As you can see, thankfully it's all gone, but that doesn't change the fact that worshipers feel uneasy about what it means and who may be responsible.
What went through my mind was same hate, new year. Here it is again.
Corey Rosen was downright offended learning of a hateful message spray painted outside of his place of worship Friday afternoon, the Woodward Avenue show.
And here being a synagogue on a big street like Woodward with a woodwork-facing wall and Hoover on the outside, we could be a prime target, and here it finally happened.
Rabbi Mendel Poulter says he was taken off guard, but not necessarily surprised by the anti-Semitic vandalism. Just a day later, other swastikas were found tagged on a baby stroller and several nearby vehicles in Oak Park.
The Jewish people have history for thousands of years of such events taking place, and in the last few years it seems to have popped its head a little more often than not.
What's even more disturbing, at least for the synagogue, is what the writings near the graffitied swastika mean and what group it may be connected to.
The letters that were spray painted right above the swastika were AZOV. At first I put it into Google, the first thing that came up was a battalion group or some sort of brigade that seems to be a pro-Nazi, sort of Ukrainian militia. Others brought up also that the Hebrew meaning of those 4 letters together, Azov, would also mean leave, actually.
However, the synagogue will be doing just the opposite.
We will not allow it to instill fear. We have so much good, kindness, and positivity to bring out.
Now, the synagogue is working to beef up security at the building. In the meantime, the Jewish Community Relations Council is commenting on the matter with a statement which in part reads, quote, "Our entire community, Jewish and non-Jewish, must condemn these actions of hatred and intolerance. Intolerance against one of us is intolerance against all of us." Victor Williams, Local 4.
Victor, what about surveillance cameras? Do we know if there were any nearby?
Yeah, there's a camera right out front, and from what we understand, it caught all of this playing out. But all that footage has now been passed over to investigators as they look for any clues they can find.
Yeah, let's hope they do. Okay, Victor, thank you.
A new twist in the murder of a beloved neurosurgeon. Someone broke into Devon Hoover's home in the historic Boston Edison district just hours before his funeral. Sean Lay spent the day trying to learn more about this. Sean, strange move for someone to try to break into a crime scene.
a week after this horrific murder that shook up so many friends and family members of the doctor and coworkers, of course. Police tonight, yes, confirming there was a break-in at the doctor's home here in Boston Edison, but they're also confirming that items were stolen from the doctor's home.
It was last Sunday family of neurosurgeon Dr. Devon Hoover were concerned, very concerned. Friends tell me when he did not arrive to visit his mother. DPD was called. A welfare check was made inside the doctor's sprawling Boston Edison home. Once officers were inside, something they spotted led them to check the home's attic. That's where the body of the doctor was found, wrapped in plastic. Someone shooting the doctor multiple times, killing him. Sunday funeral services were held for Dr. Hoover, and on that same day of his services, it was discovered that Hoover's home became a crime scene for a second time. Someone broke into his home. Tonight, police believe things were taken by the person who broke in. Right now, it's unclear what those items are. Meantime, the murder investigation is moving forward. Last Thursday, we reported that police had identified a person of interest in the killing. The very next day, Detroit Police Chief James White announcing not only do they have a person of interest, but that person tonight is in custody.
Our investigation reveals that this is an incident where the two parties knew each other. We have no reason to believe that the community is in any or at any risk. This was not a random act.
Not a random act. And again, that person of interest taken into custody very early Friday, but still no charges with that person of interest in the doctor's homicide. He is being held on unrelated charges. Devin, let's also get back to the break-in that happened over the weekend here in Boston. It's at the doctor's home. Police are saying, look, if you know anything that can help them, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK-UP. They continue to investigate. We're live tonight. Sean Late, Local 4, back to you.
So timing-wise, Sean, it would seem that break-in occurred after they took their person of interest into custody, correct?
It would be, that's absolutely correct. Midnight Saturday into early Sunday morning. The person of interest was taken into custody around midnight Friday.
Boy, so many wrinkles still to follow. All right, Sean.
Well, now to the violence on Detroit Freeway. State police are investigating 2 overnight shootings on the interstate. One happened on I-375 at Brush Street near downtown. A woman was killed and a man critically hurt in a shooting. Police say it started with a fight at the Annex Club that spilled onto the freeway. They're still searching for the shooter.
We know it's not random, just by the way that the gunshots were into the car.
On I-96 near MLK, a semi-driver from Georgia is accused of opening fire on a driver after the two were involved in a crash. Police believe that semi-driver was drunk. He is now in custody.
The Chaldean Community Foundation is expanding into Oakland County. Nonprofit opening a new community center in West Bloomfield. It'll be renovating the former Learning Circle Academy campus, a 7-acre facility on Walnut Lake Road near Inkster. The center will include a business incubator, classrooms for workforce training, a library, TV studio too. The nonprofit says it should help offset the demand at its Sterling Heights facility. A Detroit nonprofit is working to address environmental issues in the city, but also hoping to put people to work.
The Green Door Initiative is training Detroiters in jobs that will help our planet. Forewarned meteorologist Ron Hilliard shows us how it's a win-win for the city.
Manufacturing lured people from across the country and around the world, boosting Detroit to one of the nation's largest and wealthiest cities. Environmental activists say that some of the industries that created opportunity have also created some of the city's current problems.
Detroit could be considered the poster child for environmental justice for the entire state of Michigan.
Green Door Initiative CEO Donnell Wilkins says the economic success of Detroit's heyday has come at a cost, with fumes and contaminants like PFAS.
I happen to believe that everyone deserves to breathe clean air that do not cause environmental impacts on their health.
She founded Green Door Initiative in 2010 with a goal of addressing environmental concerns and high unemployment rates, especially among black men, people like Justin Littles.
I was kind of like in a little rut, stuck in the mud, and then I needed to find something to get into, give me like a little jump start.
He completed the nonprofit's 3-month environmental technician career worker training program, becoming certified and now working as an air quality technician for the organization, monitoring air in homes and businesses.
I feel like I'm becoming a hero, kind of like I'm out here saving lives, almost, it feels like.
Stacy Jones has a similar story.
I was in a pretty bad place. I wasn't doing anything and I wanted to make an impact.
He says the feeling of progress is giving him a different perspective.
I approved. I feel like as soon as the training started, it's like a complete directional change for my life.
Wilkins says they have trained more than 1,000 students, but she says you can make a difference just by recycling or using mass transit.
But once you're exposed to the whole concept of environmentalism, protecting your surroundings, the earth, the natural resources, then there's a lot you can do.
Green Door Initiative says that 95% of its trainees were employed in environmental careers, with some of them even starting their own businesses. In Detroit, Ron Hilliard, Local 4.
Really nice, Ron. Thank you. Green Door Initiative says it plans to expand its outreach in Detroit and also Flint, helping people who are unemployed or returning citizens.